back to the 311 Griffin YouTube channel. We're talking about the OV-10A Bronco again, and this time we're going to drop some dumb bombs, and we are going to use some AIM-9 Sidewinders and use the guns. Once again, this is pretty easy. This is an easy plane to deal with and to kind of maybe not master, but get decent with. And it's pretty simple. There's not a whole lot that you can do, and so there's not a whole lot of complication to doing it. But it's pretty good at what it does do. So we're going to need to know for this particular thing, once we're up in the air, we've got obviously our pitch, roll, and yaw, and our throttle control that we need, which is no different than any other aircraft. We're going to need our weapon release button. We don't really need our cannon button, and we're going to need our weapon fire button. I think that's pretty much it. Everything else is in the cockpit. If I'm missing something, sorry, but I think that's pretty much it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get set up. We're going to master arm on. Our controls for what we're dropping, everything's up here, which is kind of handy. And I got up in the clouds. I kind of lost my where my target area was, but we'll find them again. So you just need to know what's on which station, and I think they're over here. They're at the usual bombing spot. Yep, right down there. Okay. So our master arm is on, and for this is gun control over here. This is your bomb interval control, and then we've got left wing, right wing, which those are for the AIM-9s, and then I got all the same bombs loaded on the 5 lower stations. So you can drop one if you would like. So we'll do that really quickly, and let's actually drop the center one. So we don't really need to worry about the interval. We'll just leave that alone for right now. And just so you know, I am terrible at these kinds of bombings. If I don't have like a computed pipper, I'm so bad. Which is kind of the same for my gunnery, especially aerial gunnery. It's just bad. It's brutal. Okay, we don't want to dive down just yet. I'm bad at lining up on these things. I'm bad at knowing when to pickle, all that good stuff. But we got some trucks down there. It's not that big of a deal. I'm going to cut the throttle. There is an air brake control, but I don't think this thing has air brakes. Yeah, once again, I didn't get properly lined up. We don't really want to overspeed. I don't think we're going to overspeed here. But I'm actually like terrible at steep diving, and I'm not for sure why. I've had more success doing kind of a shallow dive, so this is bad, but you know. And I'm probably a little too close to the blast radius as well. But hey, looky there. We got 2 trucks with a single bomb. That was not the way you do the dive, but I'm showing how to release it. You guys can figure out how to do the dive. Okay, so now we're going to just turn on all these others. We'll go ahead and turn that station off. We're going to turn on all these others, and trim it out a little bit there, and we're going to set our interval to 0.5. This is seconds, and that's really the only control you have over these bombs, is how many seconds apart they fall. So it's going to be kind of at that point it becomes a math function of how fast you're going and your dive angle and all that good stuff. But I am also going to go ahead and call in oops, I didn't change my trigger, but I changed that from a Pucara, which is another mod that's kind of cool. I meant to do a review on it, but I just didn't. So I changed that to an AN-26. I'm not for sure if we'll get to do any aerial gunnery because this plane's kind of slow. It's not built for that. But after this pass, we will shoot at some trucks at least. Okay, I'm going to start this run a little bit shallower, just because I do shallow runs. She gets a little twitchy whenever you get fast. So we should have dropped all 4 of those bombs. And there we go. We, at least the last one didn't hit anywhere close. But 2 of them hit in there pretty close. Okay, so now we are good with the bombs. We're out of bombs. We're going to shut those stations off. Whoops. This mod does have some left-click, right-click problems, but that's okay. So we're going to flip both of those on. You can pick right-hand, left-hand guns, and the... Oh, I still have a bomb. I didn't hold it down long enough, apparently. But we've got these 4 guns, and you can pick left hand or right hand, but I think they all fire all the time. I don't think that there's a left hand, right hand thing. Also, I guess I should note before we get into the guns too much, you can also drop by clicking down on these. So if I do that and... Yep, and I hit weapon release and it dropped that bomb. So that just dropped or jettisoned that particular station. So you don't have to fire them necessarily, you can drop them that way. And then of course there's an emergency jettison over here as well, but I just jettisoned that last bomb that I failed to drop. I guess it's a good thing I messed that up so that we could see how that works. Okay, I'm gonna do 1 pass on trucks here, or I think I'm just gonna do 1 pass, and then I'm gonna turn the labels on and go find that aircraft that I called in and see if we can shoot it at. I'm not sure if I'll be able to catch it because this plane just isn't fast. I have shot some planes down, but typically I shoot planes down whenever they are coming into land. Okay, I think I see a truck off to the left there. Oh, there's one. Or 2. So we scored some hits on both of those trucks. Good deal. Easy enough. And this plane's pretty nimble, so it's really cool that you know, you can just kind of like twitch it around a little bit. It gets a little twitchy, and that's partly me and my fault, but it's kind of fun to shoot at ground stuff just because it's fairly nimble. It's easy to get it slow, but then you can kind of, and I don't know how realistic it is, but you can get that speed back pretty easily. It's a little bitty lightweight aircraft, so it's kind of cool. So here comes our AN-26. I've got an Albatross that I can bring in too, but we may not mess with it. We will attempt to do some gunshots on this guy, and then we will shoot at it with missiles. Those were all behind him. I'm really bad at those high deflection shots. The good news is you've got lots of bullets, but it's not a super powerful gun. Sweet. So there were some non-hits in there, but or some really bad, what would you call it? Bad shots, bad spreads, bad bursts. but we eventually got him. Okay, so now we are going to turn on, we're going to leave our guns on, and we're going to turn on our Sidewinders. Now these Sidewinders are not high-tech, super modern Sidewinders. It takes a bit to get good tone, and it's not that uncommon that these do not track. So you're going to need to make sure you've got a pretty decent shot. This plane's not meant to be a dogfighter. It's not meant to be going up air to air. These are self-defense Sidewinders, really. But we're going to speed things up and get closer to this albatross. Okay, here we are. He's probably going to ignore me first, and at least for a little bit. I might shoot at him with the gun. I probably will, just for fun. Ooh, we got a little tone there right off the bat, but he's going to head into the sun, which is smart. Oh, not quite. Oh, that one didn't track. I didn't quite get it. That one didn't either. See? We're going to have to kill him with the gun. That's frustrating. I've gotten one missile to track out of about 6. Now, sometimes I shoot too fast. Can't tell if those are going, they look like they're going behind him, but there we go. Anyway, that's how you shoot the Sidewinders. Usually whenever, I think because we were pulling a little more G's than those Sidewinders can really handle, that's why they weren't tracking. You almost have to be flying, not straight, but not in a tight circle, and then you've got to wait for a good tone. You can't just get a little bitty chirp. That first one that I fired there, it was more of a chirp. Okay, next up we'll just show landing, which will be really quick because it's pretty easy.